Hey folks, check out this delicious grilled tri-tip of beef. This was simply marinated with little spices, grilled, and I serve it with a garlic balsamic drizzle and what I call a rocket salad, basically arugula with a light dressing on it. First things first, this is the tri-tip. You can get this at just about any store, and this one happens to be a local one. Next, I add a seasoning to it. So you use the steak seasoning that you love. If you want to try this one, you can visit harvesteating.com and find it. This is my Montana steak seasoning. Now, this is a very coarse seasoning, so I like to take it, not always, but in this preparation, into my molcajete. That is a lava rock crusher. You can see all those wonderful spices and chilies and seeds. One amazing steak rub there. But I will just kind of mash it down a little bit before putting it onto the tri-tip. Now, that is a little bit of grapeseed oil, and I just put a very light coating of grapeseed oil, and I get both sides of the meat lightly coated in that, and that's just going to help the spices to adhere and also keep it from sticking to the grill later. So now we take the spices and sprinkle them liberally all over this beautiful chunk of meat and press them in there somewhat. Don't forget about that end piece there. So you want it to be firmly coated in the spices. Now here is my Weber kettle grill. That is hardwood charcoal, and it was, preheated. You can see it's going great, very hot. So I lay, and it's also clean. You got to have a clean grill, so that was scrubbed prior. So the meat is laid on there about 5 minutes, and I turn it a quarter turn like that. Then another 5 minutes goes, I flip it over like that. So the idea here is to try to promote even cooking. Now after that side is seared for a few minutes, I move it to the indirect side, and you can see there's no coals under there. Put the lid on it, and that will lower the heat and let it get smoky and wonderful. While that's happening, I am in the kitchen with some garlic. That's my favorite California garlic there. Just take your knife and crush it. You don't need to mince it. You just want to crush it like you see me doing there. Now this is ghee, clarified butter. Excellent stuff, paleo friendly. Still tastes like butter, and all the dairy and the casein and all that is taken out of it. And that's what it looks like. So you pop a couple tablespoons of that into a little sauce pot over a medium heat, and then you drop your garlic in there. Just give it a swirl around, and what you want is for it to kind of bubble away for a minute or so, and then I turn the heat off right at that moment, because you don't want to burn the garlic. Then in goes a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, and then a nice balsamic vinegar goes in. Give this mixture just a little swirl, and then just let it sit on the stove and cool down to room temperature. You don't need it. Now, the steak has come off the grill. It was wrapped up in foil. I let it rest for a few minutes, and while it's resting even more, we're going to make our arugula or rocket salad. Now, that's washed and spun dry arugula. Very nice stuff, slightly bitter. It really goes well with fatty foods like this steak. So we put just a little bit of high quality extra virgin olive oil, some freshly squeezed lemon juice, a little bit of pepper, and then I use some Himalayan sea salt on there. Now just take your hands, this stuff is pretty tender, just take your hands and give it a quick toss and let it sit there. Now you're going to take your steak and slice it, and you can see that this steak is still super juicy. This is about a medium. This was served to my family. If I would have cooked it the way I wanted it, which would have been about medium rare, no one would have eaten it. So I have to cook this to about a medium to get my family to eat it. So what I do is take those slices and simply arrange them on a plate. This would be great on a sandwich, by the way. You could take a nice sandwich. Of course, if you're paleo, you may want to not do the bread, but I'm just saying other ways to use it. So once it's on the plate, you take your cooled off ghee and garlic and balsamic drizzle there. Add a nice pile of that wonderful rocket salad. And this is a fantastic dish. It is super tender. The flavors, not only because of the crusted meat on the grill with those spices and then this wonderful drizzle, it is really good, super, super tender. And the combination, folks, if you haven't tried a little tossed arugula like that with a piece of meat, you are in for a treat. Super paleo friendly. I hope you give this one a try because it is an amazing dish. Thanks for watching.